In this video we will talk about some odds and ends of Empire faction warfare. There are a couple of minor activities that I will talk about in this video. I will have a small separate videos about every activity on the slide except missions. So if you are interested in more details, you can go and watch these videos, and if you just want an overview, then you're in the right place. Let's start with supply depots. Supply depot is the combat site. It appears on the overview in command operations and frontline systems. Everyone can warp to it. You will find a special structure called the supply depot near the warping beacon, and you need to destroy the structure to complete the site. Enemy NPCs will shoot you. You can ignore them if you can permatank NPCs, and if you can't, then you need to clear at least some of them. And NPCs will just keep spawning over and over until the structure is destroyed. And after the structure is destroyed, you get 15,000 loyalty points, and the opposing faction will lose 10% of advantage in this system. The site is doable solo. You can do it even in Tech 1 cruiser, but probably for depots, RV points, and advantage structures, you need a Navy cruiser to do them efficiently. And it takes about 10 minutes to destroy the structure. It can be done a bit quicker or a bit slower depending on your setup, but the average time is about 10 minutes. The Rendezvous points or RV points, these are the cosmic signatures. So you need a probe launcher to scan them down. They are very easy scan. You don't need any specialized ships. So if you have a cruiser with utility high, you can just put a core probe launcher in this utility high, and it will be sufficient to probe down these sites. Again, you land like in the middle of nowhere, and you need to kill several spawns of enemy NPCs. It's up to 5 spawns, but the last officer battleship can spawn a bit earlier, after like 3 or 4 sometimes. After 3 or 4 waves. And for this site you get 10,000 loyalty points, and your faction gets 2% bonus to advantage. Like supply depots, RV points spawn in command operations and frontline systems. Again, the site is doable solo, even in Tech 1 frigates, but probably you want a Navy frigate to do it a bit faster. Next is advantage structures. There are 2 advantage structures. One is called propaganda broadcast, and the other is listening outpost. The former adds advantage to a faction, and the latter subtracts advantage from the opposing faction. These sites are activated by players. So if you have structure in your cargo and anchoring free, you can anchor this structure, and the site essentially starts. You have a 10-minute anchoring timer after you deploy the structure, and enemy NPCs will constantly spawn and shoot the structure, and the timer will be paused while at least one NPC is on grid. So you need to kill them. These structures are the least run in faction warfare. CCP buffed them in November 2024. They doubled the advantage that you get from completing this site from 1% to 2%, and they also added loyalty point bonus. You get 10,000 loyalty points for completing the structure. This site takes fairly long time. It's doable solo again, but it probably will take you more than 30 minutes. So it's generally done in small fleets during serious system sieges, because this is the only way to reliably pump up the advantage numbers. Both RV point and supply depot are random spawns, but advantage structures, you can just spam them constantly. But it's really, in terms of rewards, it's feasible only for like some important system sieges. It's not really feasible for ISK making. Next activity is the operation center. Operation center spawns only in the rearguard system. And this is actually a data site. This is a level 3 data site, so you need probably an exploration or even a covert ops frigate to scan it and to hack the cons. So the sites have 5 cons. They are unguarded initially when you warp to the site. And the strategy is to cargo scan all the cons and pick best one. What's the best one? The best one typically is the one that contains either encoders or decoders. These items are used in advantage structures. To get an advantage structure, you need to go to Faction Warfare LP shop and then trade either a decoder or encoder for a listening outpost and or propaganda broadcast structure, respectively. So these cost about 10 million ISK for encoder and about 20 million ISK for decoder. And you can only cherry pick the con realistically, because after you hack the first con, the NPCs will spawn. The hack is quite tricky, but unlike any data or relic site, you have unlimited number of attempts, and for the first con there is really no pressure because you have no timers and no NPCs, so you can just try over and over and over again until you get lucky. And after you hack the first con, NPCs will spawn and will start harassing you. Realistically, it means that you need to leave. Shooting the NPCs is pointless because immediately the next wave will spawn, and you can just build a very specialized ship that can just permatank all the NPCs and hack these very difficult cons. But generally it's not really worth it because there is only, it can be 0 valuable cons, or sometimes it can be 2, but normally it's just 1. So it really makes sense only to just cherry pick the most valuable con and leave. The site is easily doable solo in about like 5 minutes, including the scan. And the loot, it can be, as I said, it can be 0, well, almost 0. You can get like 1 or 2 million ISK. But it can be up to like 40 million ISK if you are lucky with loot spawn. Final activity is missions. Missions used to be the main money-making activity in faction warfare before November 2022, but they got nerfed significantly, and nowadays they are feasible, but they are not really the main ISK-making activity. Missions in faction warfare work exactly the same as normal missions. You have agents of different levels, and depending on your standings, you have access to different agents. You want typically level 4 agents for any reasonable payout, and the missions themselves are significantly easier than Empire level 4 missions, but they require a ton of traveling to systems controlled by the opposing factions typically. So I will not cover them because in the current meta people don't really run them. If it changes in the future, then we will just update the videos. Okay, next we will talk about every activity in a bit more detail. So see you in these videos.